Just settling, being present. There's no rush. Can we feel our hands touching somewhere on our body? Do we feel our eyelids? Do we feel our lips if they're touching? Do we feel our buttocks on the chair or our feet on the floor? Coming into the present moment. Can we feel our feet touching the ground, connecting to the earth, even if we're on the second story? Just feeling the magnetic energy of the earth, especially now during this solstice time when it gives us an opportunity to attend to nature a little more. Where do we notice being grounded in the body? And as we settle into this place of grounding, we can feel our breath in the body. Where do we feel it? And we have this cloak of winter solstice around us for a few days. We know that dark is inevitable, and it comes into our lives no matter what, and after it leaves, it'll come again. And the light is also inevitable. Oftentimes it's the dark that we try to avoid. But this is what we train for in mindfulness meditation. We train for the dark. We see it all when we sit quietly within ourselves and watch our own breath. We see the happy and the sad, and we train ourselves to not jump away. We sit and we notice. And the Dharma practice helps us become more resilient. Whether it's the continued complex ramification of health issues or relationships, with difficult endings. Sometimes we're grumpy, maybe especially in the depths of winter. But when we're resilient, we know on a deep level of being that it's just a matter of time until it passes. And it's not really all that bad most of the time. And so we cultivate this kind of spiritual resilience in our practice of mindfulness. And especially one of the ways to cultivate this resilience is to remember the 3 refuges. Taking refuge in the Buddha, in the Dhamma, and in the Sangha. Finding safety and respite in the possibility of awakening, the actual practice, and the community of kindred spirits. And by taking refuge, we touch into the heart, and we trust that the refuges will hold us and protect us from sinking. It's a deep trust. And also the refuges can provide us with direction, somewhere to channel our energies, our thoughts, our presence. When we drop into the actual practice of meditation or loving kindness, for example, it's like sort of like putting on anti-quicksand boots. And if we find that our boots aren't working so well, then we have the Sangha and the community to support us. Whether it's a Sangha of one or many more than that. And so in this practice, using mindful awareness, we open to what might be difficult. We look at it with a heart and mind wide open. Noticing the breath. Where do we feel it? Where can we find it? Noticing ourselves inhabiting the body. And if we continue from time to time, returning to the breath because we're lost in thought somewhere and forget to wake up in that present moment, we can just begin again, waking up in this very moment. This very moment is an awakened moment, free from the hindrances. We're just here in the present moment, noticing pleasant or unpleasant or neutral. So remembering those refuges, the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha, awakening in this life, seeing the truth of impermanence for ourselves, and having the companionship of others on the path, even though it's an activity that we do only ourselves. No one else can do it for us. Beginning again, having patience, having energy and effort. What happens when we start settling a little? Our breath may change. The attitude of our mind might be different than when we started. Just being present with mindful awareness, what arises, noticing how long it lasts. Can we notice when it leaves? can we be present with mindfulness without judging ourselves? Just notice and begin again in this training and the taming of the wild and crazy mind and heart. Letting wisdom arise to let us know what is worth inclining the heart and mind toward and what perhaps we are better off letting go of over and over and over again, mind moment by mind moment. They pass by very quickly. We're just trying to be flexible in our mindfulness to catch whatever we can. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, pleasant, pleasant, unpleasant, unpleasant, pleasant, neutral. Like it, don't like it, keeps going on. Coming and going, coming and going. We may notice that our attention can broaden throughout the body. We return to that anchor of the breath at the nostrils or the belly when we find ourselves lost or confused. And we can also, while we're present, let the whole spaciousness of our body be understood as the body breathing, which opens our focus. Where do we notice it? We stay open in this spacious space. As best we can, no matter what arises. Maybe when the darkness comes during this time period of the season, and that sometimes there's sad and scary thoughts and painful trauma arises in our being, but we can bring them all the way through. Instead of pushing the dark down and away from us, we can let it rise up and travel all the way through our being so it can transmute to love. Let them travel through us. Mindfulness, awareness, and wisdom. Breathing in, I know I am breathing in. Breathing out, I know I am breathing out. Darkness and light. So whether it's winter solstice time or any time when we're in our meditation practice, may we celebrate the dark when it arrives and appreciate the opportunity that it brings us, knowing that it also has an impending end and turns to light, which in turn does the same thing. And so may we run with open arms into the embrace of darkness, because we know its time is limited and that it also offers love and light even in the dark, as we see what's in front of us and we hold it with kindness. Due to conditions, it will last a certain amount of time and then it will flow on its own. We offer this neutral territory of mindfulness and awareness and wisdom, to be gentle. While everything in front of us arises and passes away. And as we cultivate that kindness to look even in the dark corners of our mind, may that kindness be present for us. May we be at ease. May we take care of ourselves happily, no matter what's happening. Holding ourselves gently, that we may have ease and well-being, no matter what's happening. And may we let this kindness, compassion, sense of equanimity flow to others. Someone that might be close to you that's having a challenging time. Letting this kindness and compassion, this metta and karuna, flow toward them from within our hearts, from within the cauldron of our bodies, breathing, holding them within our hearts. May they be free from harm, safe and protected. May they hold themselves gently when things are challenging. Seeing this being happy and healthy, may they balance difficulties in their lives with equanimity. May they be at ease. And as we continue letting this metta and karuna practice flow to others, a person that's close to us, a benefactor, a wise friend or teacher, breath by breath, including others in our circle of goodwill, others that we may not know, neutral people or a neutral person. May you be at ease. When things are difficult, may you be kind to yourself. May you have compassion for yourself. Just as I wish to be happy, I know that you also wish to be happy. May you be at ease. May your heart and mind be present with things just as they are. And as we develop this deeper sense of concentration in the metta practice, may it permeate to beings in all directions, that we continue nurturing and inclining our hearts and minds toward these emotions that are worth having, the heavenly abodes, metta, karuna, mudita, upekkha, kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. May we continue cultivating this for our own heart's awakening, to beings known and unknown, to beings seen and unseen. To those who are in pain and those who are in sorrow, those who are in joy. May all beings be free from harm, safe and protected, have ease and well-being. May we let our hearts be as wide as the world. Holding darkness gently, letting it turn toward light. There's a beautiful poem by Mary Oliver in which we each have a light within us. And even when we're afraid, the light is bigger than any individual idea of self. And instead, it's a part of our connection with everything around us. I love the way Mary Oliver intersperses her own thinking and experiences with the teachings of the Buddha in this poem called The Buddha's Last Instruction. Make yourself a light, said the Buddha before he died. I think of this every morning as the east begins to tear off its many clouds of darkness, to send up the first signal, a white fan streaked with pink and violet, even green. An old man, he lay down between two sala trees, and he might have said anything, knowing it was his final hour. The light burns upward. It thickens and settles over the fields. Around him, the villagers gathered and stretched forward to listen, even before the sun itself hangs, disattached in the blue air. I am touched everywhere by its ocean of yellow waves. No doubt he thought of everything that had happened in his difficult life. And then I feel the sun itself as it blazes over the hills like a million flowers on fire. Clearly I'm not needed, yet I feel myself turning into something of explicable value. Slowly, beneath the branches, he raised his head. He looked into the faces that frightened crowd. And the words that he said on his deathbed were, all conditioned things arise and pass away. And seeing this clearly brings the greatest happiness, which is peace. And that chant is used in many Buddhist circles when someone has died. Anicca vata sankhara uparawa yadomino upakita va meruchanti te samvapasamo sukho. All conditioned things arise and pass away. And seeing this clearly with mindfulness brings the greatest happiness, which is peace. Here's one final poem from Robert Bly. The snowfall is so silent. The snowfall is so silent, so slow. Bit by bit, with delicacy, it settles down on the earth and covers over the fields. The silent snow comes down white and weightless. Snowfall makes no noise, falls as forgetting falls, flake after flake. It covers the fields gently, while frost attacks them with its sudden flashes of white, covers everything with its pure and silent covering. Not one thing on the ground anywhere escapes it, and wherever it falls, it stays, content and gay, for snow does not slip off as rain does, but it stays and sinks in. The flakes are sky flowers, pale lilies from the clouds that wither on earth. They come down blossoming, but then so quickly they are gone. They bloom only on the peak above the mountains and make the earth feel heavier when they die inside. Snow, delicate snow, that falls with such lightness on the head, on the feelings, come and cover over the sadness that lies always in my reason. As we let mindfulness, awareness, and wisdom hold gently our sadness that is always lying there within close reason. May we hold what is difficult and look into it. May we hold ourselves gently with equanimity and joy as we flow through the dark and the depth of winter and come through into more and more days of light. Thank you for your practice. May it bring kindness and joy to your hearts. May it fill your being and radiate out of your heart to others that you meet, knowing that the merit of our practice benefits all sentient beings. And it makes me so happy that we're practicing together.